WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have the Epicurean cask, finished in a single cognac cask, one of only 402 bottles. Ooh. So this is a blended malt, which means there is no grain, but it is from different distilleries, all single malts together. I'm sorry, it was German. Wow. All single malts together then create a blended malt. 48%. Whiskey base number 158180. 402 bottles, as I mentioned. 69 euros is what I paid basically for this. I've seen it at 62 euros. I've seen it at 79 euros. So for the 412 bottles, there's a lot of range there. No coloring, no chill filtration. Very, very good. And this is part of the remarkable regional malts from Douglas Laing. Now, we have the Scallywag, and we have the Big Pete, and we have the other things there as well. And so this is a very interesting one. The normal Epicurean, I think Bart and I both liked it. Here, Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies was not really enthusiastic about it, but I thought it was good. I like that taste, and there are many, many different distilleries that we could have chosen from at the beginning. So the Blatnock, way back when, they're now once again owned by a yogurt king from Australia. We have Glenkinich. They are also an interesting distillery from Diageo, and that was about it with the Auchentoshan. Oh yeah, my control whiskey and my comparison whiskey today, Auchentoshan 12. Now there's a lot of newer distilleries coming out. Kingsbarn, very, very interesting. Glasgow Distillery 1770, very, 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 very interesting to be honest. Annandale, great. Eden Mill, interesting. Daft Mill, nah, bit expensive. I wasn't really blown away by the whiskey. I recently in Germany, in my German channel, I did a Lowland Whiskey, 6 blind whiskeys from all those distilleries I just named, except for the Eden Mill. I had a bottle. I had Daft Mill as well in there blind, and Daft Mill basically was second for the most of the people. Actually, the one that won was from Glasgow, the 1770. I'm looking really forward to their triple distilled, which should be coming out in the next couple of days and or even weeks. So let's push this over here a tiny little bit. All right, so on the nose, it's very, very citrus forward. Citrus and a little tiny bit of the cognac. Now, as a whiskey taster, I had a little bit of problem at the beginning, and I still sometimes do with my whiskeys, is they're finished in interesting casks. Have you tried all the different red wines? Have you tried all the different types of sherry out there? Have you tried the different ports, the townies and the rubies? Have you tried the cognac? And now when we actually have mezcal as well out there, there's a big problem that it's like, okay, I just recently had another whiskey here from Denmark, the Stouning Bastard, and it was a rye whiskey finished in a mezcal cask. It's like, I have no idea what I'm looking for as a smell, as a taste, as an aroma. I've never had mezcal in my life. I might have had a bad tequila, but I've never had a good mezcal. And so what we can do over here in Germany, at least what I can do, is I can go to a company and they send me a little set of 6 different things. I have 6 different ports. I had 6 different cognacs. I've had 6 different sherries. I have sherries. I've just recently done 6 different mezcals. And now I can actually pretend that I understand what I'm talking about and I know what I'm looking for. And here I did the same thing about a year and a half ago with cognac. It's like I had 4 different whiskeys in a row that I said, oh, these are great. Why? I love this note. This is fabulous. I figured out, oh, it's cognac. They were all finished in cognac casks, and this was a big thing. Now, the last thing I want to mention here is when I have a whiskey like this, I try to think of the producer's thoughts. What was their motivation? What was their intention behind this whiskey? This is a single cask whiskey, which means either the whiskey was so good that they said, oh, we need to make it better by putting in a cognac cask, or they said, whoops, we need to fix it. And usually this is a whoops whiskey. Not always, usually. And so they said, oh, okay, what are we going to do with this? Put in a cognac cask. Wow. Now, of course, they might have just received a cognac cask, didn't know what to do with it, maybe even two. Some people online have been writing there's two different batches of this, two different single casks out there. I don't think so. I think there was just one, but that's all I know. And so they go, okay, we need some juice for this. Okay, let's put this stuff in there. It's not great. It's not terrible. Let's do our best. All right, so over here, it's a lot more sweet. This is more of a citrus, more of a lemon moment. And this is more of a sweeter moment. Let us try them. 48% versus 40%. Not really fair. You can get two of these for one of these. Also not really fair. Cheers. Wow. If this was Kentucky, this gives you a Kentucky hug. That alcohol is very, very present. It's not a sweet whiskey. It's a dry citrus type of citrus whiskey. Citrus, more of the lemon notes, then that heat, and towards the end it gets a nice sweet, it's got a very nice finish actually, a very nice sweet cognac moment. The beginning I can live with, the end I really like, and that in the middle is just like, okay. Now there's a little trick. You take the whiskey down to about 43%. This whiskey is not, I'm going to say it with my own personal opinion, not the optimal 48% strength. It's not the optimal drinking strength. Now, I know there's some people out there have no problem whatsoever with pepper and hot and so on. I guess I'm just a wimp. All right, I can live with that. On the nose, it doesn't change hardly anything. Gives a little bit of a tick of vanilla comes in as well. There's still a tiny little bit of heat there, but much more manageable. And now the cognac. Is this a complex whiskey? No. It does remind me of something I've had before from the Lowlands, but it's a malt. It's a blend. It's Kingsbarn. Kingsbarn is actually a very, when we were doing it blind, we were like, oh, this is going to be a great whiskey in about 4 years. But it had that hot, spicy pepper moment in the minute as well. In the middle, it needed some more time in the casks. The casks add flavor, add color, and take away some of the sharpness. That's why we have charred casks. That's one of the main things that happens with that. I'm going to call it active charcoal on there. And that really does help. And this whiskey could have spent a little bit more time in the cask, could have been taken down to about 43%, and it would have been actually, my personal opinion, a much better whiskey. As a comparison, the Auchentoshan 12. The contrast is really interesting. This is sweet. This is smooth. And it's not a smooth, sweet whiskey, actually. This is just so way out there as that citrus moment. Which one do I prefer at the moment? I would tend to go for the 12 from Auchentoshan, but with water, this actually would beat it. So this is a C plus with water, a C minus without water, and I just think the 70 euros, even 80 euros that I saw are just way over priced. This is a whiskey that should have been in the 45 to 50 euro range. Personal opinion, hey, I forget always to factor in the inflation rate of whiskey at the moment. But still, that's way up there, even though this is a single cask, 412, 2 bottles, and only in a cognac cask. It didn't say first filled cognac either. All right, so I'm going to give this actually a D for the value for money. Would I buy it again? Definitely not. So, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. The question of the day is, what is your favorite Lowland whiskey? Daft Mill didn't blow me away. As I mentioned before, Glasgow is very, very interesting. Auchentoshan, I like. Not their older editions, 18 and 21 didn't blow me away either. But their blood oak and their dark oak are very acceptable whiskeys. Very nice whiskeys. The Glenkinich Distiller's Edition was not bad either. And there's a few other things out there that I have to try. Andales and Eden Mills and so on. All right, so what's your favorite lowland whiskey? It could also be maybe something from a grain distillery. Who knows? Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American. Like, subscribe, tell others, share the video if you'd be so kind on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and any other social media platforms you know about. Tell others about this crazy guy over here in Europe tasting whiskey you will probably never ever see. All the best. Bye-bye.